Hey, what's up, everyone? This English Reading Challenge 100 Days, Day 2. I'm gonna go on to read Marketing 4.0. And today we start with understanding how people buy from 4A's to 5A's. 4A's to 5A's, okay? One of the earliest and widely used frameworks to describe the consumer path is IDA: attention, interest, desire, and action. Unsurprisingly, IDA was coined by an advertising and sales pioneer, E. St. Elmore Lewis. Wow, good to know. And was first adopted in the field of advertising and sales. It serves as a simple checklist or a reminder for advertising executives when they design advertisements and for sales executives when they approach prospects. The advertising copy and sales pitch should grab attention, initiate interest, strengthen desire, and ultimately drive action. Similar to the 4Ps of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion, IDA has undergone several expansions and modifications. Derek Rucker of the Kellogg, I'm sure I don't know how to read that name, Kellogg. I'm just saying Kellogg School, okay? Kellogg School of Management offers a modification of IDA that he calls the 4A's: aware, attitude, act, and act again. In his more recent framework, the interest and desire stages are simplified into attitude, and a new stage, act again, is added. The modified framework aims to track post-purchase consumer behavior and measure customer retention. It considers an action of repurchase as a strong proxy for consumer loyalty. The 4A's framework is a simple model to describe the straightforward funnel-like process that customers go through when evaluating brands in their consideration sets. Customers learn about a brand, aware, like or dislike the brand, attitude, and decide whether to purchase it, act, and then decide whether the brand is worth a repeat purchase, act again. Okay, it does make sense. When it is treated as a customer funnel, the number of customers going through the process continues to decline as they move into the next stage. People who like the brand must have known the brand before. People who purchased the brand must have liked the brand before, and so on. Similarly, when treated as a brand funnel, the number of brands that are being considered along the path continues to decline. For example, the number of brands people recommend is less than the number of brands people buy, which in terms is less than the number of brands people know. Okay, the 4A's also reflects a primarily personal path. The major influence on consumers' decision-making as they move across the path from companies' touchpoints. Example, TV advertising at the awareness phase, salesperson at the act phase, and service center at the act again phase. This is within a company's control. But today, in the era of connectivity, the straightforward and personal funnel-like process of the 4A's needs to update. A new customer path needs to be defined to accommodate changes shaped by connectivity. In the pre-connected era, an individual customer determined his or her own attitude toward a brand. But in the connectivity era, The initial appeal of a brand is influenced by the community surrounding the customers to determine the final attitude. The final attitude. Okay, so it's attitude, not altitude, attitude, final attitude. And many seemingly personal decisions are essentially social decisions. The new customer path should reflect the rise of such social influence. In the pre-connectivity era, loyalty was often defined as retention and repurchase. But in the connectivity era, loyalty is ultimately defined as the willingness to advocate a brand. Okay, let me repeat that for you. Loyalty in the connectivity era, loyalty is ultimately defined as the willingness to advocate a brand. A customer might not need to continuously repurchase a particular brand, example due to a longer purchase cycle, or might not be able to due to unavailability in certain locations. But if the customer is happy with the brand, he or she will be willing to recommend it when currently not using it. The new customer path should be aligned to this new definition of loyalty. When it comes to understanding brands, customers now actively connect with one another, building ask and advocates relationship. Netizens in particular have very active connections in customer forums. Customers who need more information will search for it and connect with other customers with better knowledge and more experience. Depending on the bias shown during conversation, the connection either strengthens or weakens the brand's initial appeal. The new customer path should not recognize this connectivity among customers. Based on these requirements, the customer path should be rewritten as the five A's: aware, appeal, ask, act, and advocate. Okay. Then we're going to break down this five A's in the next paragraphs, I think. Okay, in the aware phase, customers are passively exposed to a long list of brands from past experience, marketing communications, and or the advocacy of others. This is the gateway to the entire consumer path. A customer who has previous experience with a brand will likely to be able to record and recognize the brand. Advertising driven by companies and word of mouth of other consumers is also a major source of brand awareness. Aware of several brands, customers then process all the messages they are exposed to, creating short-term memory and amplifying long-term memory, and become attracted only to a short list of brands. This is the appeal phase. Memorable brands with wow factors are more likely to enter and even go higher on the short list. In highly competitive industries where brands are abundant and products are commoditized, brand appeal must be stronger. Some customers respond to brand appeal more than others. Youth, for example, are usually among the first to respond. That is why they are more likely to be early adopters of new products. Prompted by their curiosity, customers usually follow up by actively researching the brands they are attracted to for more information from friends and families, from the media, and or directly from the brand. This is the ask stage. Customers can either call friends for advice or evaluate the shortlist themselves. When they decide to research some brands further, they might search online product reviews. They might also contact call centers to talk to sales agents for more information. They might also compare prices and even try out products at stores. Today, the ask is further complicated by the integration of the digital, online, and physical, offline worlds. As consumers browse through products in store, they might also search for information on their mobiles. Since consumers maybe go multiple channels for more information, companies need to have a presence at least in the most popular channels. At the ask stage, the consumer path changes from individual to social. Decisions will be made based on what customers take away from the conversation with others. The brand appeals needs confirmation from others to follow the path to continue. And brands need to trigger the right amount of consumer curiosity. When the curiosity level is too low, it means that the brand appeal among existent is rather low. But when the curiosity level is too high and consumers are forced to ask too many questions, consumers are confused about the initial message they encounter. If they are convinced by the further information in the ask stage, consumers will decide to act. This is important to remember that the desired customers' actions are not limited to purchase actions. After purchasing a particular brand, customers interact more deeply through consumption and usage, as well as post-purchase services. Brands need to engage customers and make sure that their total ownership and usage experience is positive and memorable. When customers have problems and complaints, brands need to pay attention and make sure that customers receive solutions. Over time, customers may develop a sense of strong loyalty to the brand, as reflected in retention, repurchase, and ultimately advocacy to others. This is advocate stage. Active advocates spontaneously recommend brands they love without being asked. I'm a huge Apple fan, by the way. They can tell, and this is right, at least right now, and they tell positive stories to others and become evangelists. But more loyal advocates are passive and dorman dormant. I don't know what that means. Dormant. I'll look it up. Dormant. dormant. And I'm not sure I'm reading it correct. Dormant. They need to be prompted by either sorry. They need to be prompted by either acquiry or negative advocacy. When they do encounter such a prompt, they feel obliged to recommend and defend the brands they love. Since loyal advocates take risks to recommend certain brands, they're also more likely to buy more of those brands in the future. Okay, I think that's enough for today, and thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Yes.